Hi there, and welcome back to Cyber Triage Basics. In this session, we are taking a look at the Cyber Triage Collector. This is the first in a long series of sessions on the different collection methods. In this one, we're just taking a look at the simplest, easiest approach, which is using the GUI collector and just saving the results directly to a USB drive. Quick review. The Cyber Triage Collector is used for collecting artifacts off an endpoint. It can be run by the GUI or via the command line. You have options to select what can be collected, both in terms of the artifacts themselves and if there are any particular files you want to collect. The results or the output is saved to our JSON file. That file can be uploaded to the cloud, S3 or Azure, or it can be saved to a local file, either a shared file system or directly to a USB drive. Collection can also be streamed directly back to the Cyber Triage console, provided you're using the Teams version. In this instance, we are going to be having a look at using the USB collection. So we have to export the collector from the Cyber Triage console, load it onto a USB drive, connect that USB drive to our target system, run the collector. The results are then going to be saved back to our USB drive, and then we return that USB drive back to our console system, import the JSON, and get started with our analysis. So let's dive into it. The first step is to set up any file collection options that we may have. To do this, we go to Options, File Collection Rules, and then create a new collection set. So if I had something specific to an investigation, I might name it after the investigation name. And then once I have the set created, I need to create rules specific to that set. Now, in this particular instance, I'm interested in Word files. We're going to have a file name, anything with a docx, and we're only interested in one user. So you have a look at users, Douglas, and do a little bit of sanity checking. We don't want any files bigger than 100 megabytes. And we're also only interested in things that have been modified in the last 90 days. So once that rule is set, we could then add more rules if we wanted. In this instance, we don't. Once we've done that, we're now ready to extract the collector. All we need to do in that case is click the Extract Collector button. We then browse to the location where we want the collector files to be saved. I'm setting up an external USB, helpfully labeled evidence, so I know that it is going to the right place. And we're not uploading anything to the cloud. We're going to be saving our results directly back to this USB drive. So cloud storage configuration will be none. And then we can extract the Cyber Triage Collector. And we can see here on our E drive, which is our thumb drive, we now have our collection files. The core file, or the collector file itself, is Cyber Triage Collector. We also have versions for Vista and Windows XP, and also the GUI. In addition to that, we have a config file, we have our file sets file, and we can take a quick look at that. And you can see here that the format of this file is pretty straightforward. We have our rule set of random, we have the description we typed, and we can see here the file name and the path we're going to search. We also have a README, which basically fills you in on all the information we're giving to you here. So once that's all done, we can then eject that drive and transfer it across to our target system. Now we're at our target system, and we will connect in our USB drive, Cyber Triage Collector, and we are going to run the GUI. You will need to be using an account that has administrator access. Once you do that, you'll get the standard UAC, user access control prompt. Now, in this instance, we want to collect everything. We're going to be saving our results to a local file. That G drive you'll see here is where evidence is connected to. And again, it is useful to name your USB drives if that's what you're using. We are also going to go the whole hog and just collect absolutely everything. So we're after all login information, network shares, web artifacts, and data accessed, information about all the processes, and also get all our system config settings. Once we double check everything that it's looking good, we can hit start and our collection kicks off.
And we obviously, as you can see here, get that dialog giving us an update on progress. Now that the collection is completed, we can double check that we have our JSON file created, and we are now ready to eject that drive and copy the files across to our analysis system. So, having plugged our USB drive back into our analysis system, let's copy that JSON file across to our cases folder, and then we can add the host. To add the host, we are going to be adding a Cyber Triage file. All we need to do is browse to the location of that JSON file we just copied across, and we can enter our host display name. This is where you have the choice of deciding what you're going to do with your hashes. Default, we're querying the MD5s. If the file has not been seen before, then we're going to upload it to the server for analysis. As we mentioned previously, we have other options of marking the file suspicious, as in not uploading it, or doing nothing. So if you do have sensitive files, if you're not comfortable sharing your executables, then you can choose not to upload them. Same goes with MD5s. If you don't want to query the MD5s, then you don't have to. Obviously, you're missing out on a lot of value there if you are doing that, but there are circumstances where that's necessary. Then our host is added, and that ingestion process kicks off. So that's the process of making a collection using the Cyber Triage GUI. Up next, we will have a look at operating from the command line.